he said, take a look over there. Kent Bazemore, good player. This guy, that guy pointed out a couple players, good players. Maybe not great players, but good players, significant players, can play the game. But they couldn't play it in my day. They too small. He said they too light. Pardon my French, if it's okay. They light in the ass.
Right. Okay.
They too small. When you go back and look, you see basketball players all the time. You down there on the floor. You all over the place. I'm all over the place. We see basketball players all the time. Look at how small their legs is.
Yeah, they real small.
Back in the day when we was growing up, now maybe because we was small, we was little homies, but when you saw NBA guys, you knew they were NBA guys. That's a big dude.
Yeah.
I don't know who he play for, but I know he in the NBA. These days, you can see a dude and he look like he probably, you know what I'm saying, skinny little bitty chicken legs, little small waist, no butt to him, no nothing, no substance. And because it's a transition game, things are just different now.
Yeah. That don't supposed to be happening right there. I got a phone call coming. I guess a caller wanted to come and give him the show.
Look, man, the president, you know what I'm saying? VT, the president, VT be all over the place.
We ain't got time for no phone calls today, man. So that we not gonna answer calls. So callers, if you calling in, we not answering no calls. That's
blow
not
him up. Blow his phone up. Blow his phone up. I'm gonna tell y'all what y'all do need to be blowing up, though. I just want to make sure I'm saying this properly. Blow up the social media handles for anything you guys agree, disagree, fair to different, whatever the case may be. At Tate's Take Hoops, TATESTAKEHOOPS on the Twitter as well as the Instagram.
And from was that yours or mine?
That was mine. Oh, you ain't Tate's Take Hoops. It's only one Tate's Take Hoops, baby. It's only one Tate's Take, baby.
Hey, you definitely can hit me up as well as Temple of Hoops on Twitter and Temple of Hoops TV. Yeah, definitely. You listen to the podcast. Anything you heard us say, please add us there. And we will add you back. And also, too, we'll cover anything that we didn't cover that you would like to see us cover on the next podcast.
Yeah, let us know what you want us to get in here and talk about, because we want to appease the people, get some more followers, get some more, you know what I'm saying, but some more interaction. Let us know what's on your mind in regards to when it comes to basketball. We're here to do it all. High school, college, pro. I'm going to speak for myself, but I know VT is very well equipped with the same thing. So whether you guys disagree, agree, or want to hear something different along the lines of 94 feet on the hardwood, man, make sure you add us, man, so we can go ahead and educate some folks.
Absolutely. Let's get to some more of these clips from the media day. We're gonna.
Yeah, that one went a little long. My bad.
Yeah, we did. We talked about Dwight Howard more than what I think we should have talked about him.
We definitely talked about Dwight Howard longer than we should have.
We talked about him for probably like 15, 20 minutes. We're probably not even going to get that on the Lakers roster this year.
No, ain't no probably about it. But let me ask you this real quick while you trying to figure some things out. We go to the net. He got the number 39, bro.
What's that? Is that his age?
I don't know. I hope they ain't. I thought that was how many kids he had. I don't know. but he got the number 39. Now, you might not remember this. You remember when Rodman used to play?
Yeah,
for the Lakers.
Rodman had like 99 though, didn't it?
No. He had 91, but that was on the Bulls.
Okay.
He also played on Dallas Mavericks. A lot of people don't remember that.
I don't remember that one.
Rodman played with the Mavericks. I think it was like number 70 or something like that. Yeah. But he used to play with he used to be 73. Now that I think about it, with the Lakers. Dennis Rodman. Yeah. Do your research, baby.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to go back and look at the worm. I remember. I
love the
Pistons, the Bulls, San Antonio.
But
I don't think I remember.
There was a stint with the Lakers, and there was a stint with the Mavericks. I think it was his very last stop. I know you don't love the worm the way I love worm, dog.
Right. Well, let's get to this next person, man. We've been waiting to hear from him. And I'm assuming you guys know the sound of these people's voices, because this is a Hoops Outsiders podcast. So anybody listening to these podcasts love hoops. So these clips shouldn't come as a surprise to you about who they are. But I'm going to go ahead and introduce this one to you. This one is no other than Uncle Drew.
I'm incredibly grateful to be here.
And he's talking about being in Brooklyn. What do you think? Believe him or not?
I mean, he got a job. He's still in the league. And I'm going to be honest with you, whether I believe him or not, this is my honest and truthful answer to you telling me. Play it again.
Oh, let me play. Okay, I'll play this one, then I got another one that I want to play.
Because
he
said what? What?
Yeah.
I'm incredibly grateful to be here.
Does it really matter if we believe him or not? Because guess what? He's supposed to say that. And he's going to say that. And that clip right there didn't really tell me a lot. Now, his play on the court is going to show me exactly how incredibly happy he is to be there, because the reality of it is that we saw him in Cleveland and he just played when he got when he got drafted.
Okay.
And then LeBron came over and he seemed to be a little bit more happy to be there. Anybody playing with LeBron seemed happy to be there.
Right.
So then he go over to Boston and it seemed like it would be all right.
I got a clip for here. Now this clip may put it more in perspective for you. So check this one out. And this from Uncle Drew as well.
Wasn't drafted by Boston. I had no type of affiliation with Boston before I left Cleveland. There wasn't any works, anything that happened. Boston was a surprise team with Wick and Danny that took the chance on trading for me.
Now, what I got from that is, dude, I didn't know you. I didn't want to be with you. You forced me to be there. And then during the time, I got to the point where maybe I can make this work.
But that goes back to what I was saying, BT. You can see it. He didn't look to seem very happy in Boston. I'm not just saying based on how he did as a player in Boston, but if we just being real of it, it really does look like a different Kyrie Irving between Cleveland and Boston, and that's why it's no surprise that he's not in Boston anymore. Now, I don't think that he should be getting all the crap as to why Boston did not meet expectations nor exceed expectations this year, because as much as it was his issue, that it was his fault, there was still some other stuff going on that was also not his fault.
And that's I got a take on that. Danny Ainge has a problem in Boston, and it's eating away at the core of the franchise like a worm in an apple. I think Danny gained a reputation for a lack of trust just as much as for his depth of trade deals. Just think about it. AD refused to go there. Now Kyrie chose to leave. It all started with how Isaiah Thomas was traded away after putting his body on the line for the team's success in the playoffs after the passing of his sister. That move by Danny may have saved Boston money in the short term, but cost the team long-term damage and player trust. And I think no matter how many great pieces you have in Boston, which Kyrie went back in that clip said, man, if there's not trust in players and the management and how you're treating players, at some point it's gonna all come crumbling down. But I believe Kyrie is happy in Brooklyn, and I think you're gonna see a big difference in Kyrie. I just hope that he cut that hair. I don't like the Uncle Drew old hairstyle. I don't like that. I want the low cut Kyrie with the beard. That's all I want.
I don't know how happy he is, but I think it's safe to say that he's probably happier than he was, which that might not say necessarily a whole lot. But when you're looking at it, I mean, this team in general, what happened with Gordon Hayward, a lot of people might have thought that he was going to come, it was a mixed bag. Some people thought he was going to come back and be the same player. Some people thought he was going to come back and never be the same player. Some people thought he was going to come back and be a better player. I think most people thought that when he comes back, he's going to give them at least something remotely close to what he was giving them before. I don't necessarily think that you got that out of him, and I'm not trying to fire no shots at him.
No, I
but if you thought
he's dead. I think that's dead.
Oh, okay, and it might be, but let me tell you something. I thought it was firing shots. So if you thought that was firing shots, let me fire some shots. It wasn't just Kyrie Irving. I think that Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, neither one of them gave you what you thought that you were going to get from them this year in comparison to the year prior. So I don't think last year you didn't get what you thought you were going to get out of them, just like the same. Like everybody takes a jump. Everybody takes a step up. You thought in Jason Tatum's second year, and that's just the way that it typically goes, not just in college basketball, but in your sophomore year, whether that's as a college or whether that's in professional basketball, most people take a jump. Most people take a leap. He didn't necessarily take that. And now Jason Tatum, you know how I feel about Jason Tatum. I think that he's not the most aggressive player, but he is very what's the word? Very finesse type of player. He kind of reminds me of like a Carmelo Anthony, but a skinnier version in that sense in terms of finesse.
Right.
He can get into that triple threat, and he's good with that. But he played too light-skinned for me, and I'm light-skinned. I can say that. That's half and half. You ever heard of Arnold Palmer?
Yeah.
Sweet tea and lemonade. I'm half and half.
I use half in my coffee, man.
But see, I can say that. You can't talk.
Just to lighten that thing up.
You can't talk about light skinned folks. You too dark. I'm real light skinned.
Hey, man, I'm not that dark, man. Hey, but let's move on. Techno got crazy.
I get crazy on him, boy. I get crazy.
Hey, man, that's why I love him, though, man. All right, so let's move on to this guy right here. He's another one that's switching teams as well. And here's what he has to say, because people has been wondering how it's going to work with him and James Harden, especially when it didn't work with Harden.
Ain't no telling what we about to hear.
Especially when it didn't work with Harden and CP3, and CP3 was looked at as being the better option to pair with Harden. Because he shoots the ball better off the off ball, when he's not with the ball in his hand. CP3 can hit the outside shot better. But this is what Russell Westbrook had to say as far as having something to prove.
I don't have to prove to score 30 points. I've done that before. I don't have to prove to average 10 assists. I've done that before. I don't have to prove to get 10, 11 rebounds. I've done that before. My goal is to win a championship. So whatever it takes to be able to do that, that's what I'm going to do.
Let me tell you something about Russell Westbrook, what I like and what I don't like. Which one do you want first? What I don't like or what I like?
Let me hear what you don't like.
What I don't like is the way that Russell Westbrook dresses. And if that's the worst, let me tell you something. And I'm not. Okay. Michigan is one of the bigger fashion capitals. Now you might not be able to tell by the way I dress because I tuck T-shirts in. But let me explain something to you. If that's the worst case scenario or situation that I have with Russell Westbrook, then I think that it's okay. Now, when you start talking in regards to outside of that, I think that Russell Westbrook is arguably the most competitive NBA player in the NBA that we've seen since Kobe Bryant. Not only the most competitive right now, but that we've also seen since Kobe Bryant.
I agree.
It's not surprising to me that regardless of whether people thought Kobe was better than Mike or as good as Mike or whatever, one thing that we did know that he had that was very comparable to Mike was that he was the competitor that Michael Jordan was. I don't think that there is a step lower for Russell Westbrook. I think that's just in terms of competitive nature. He is a competitor. Shot selection and all this other kind of stuff, I think that some of that stuff is questionable. When you start thinking about athleticism, when you start thinking about explosiveness, big NBA body, big guard, I don't know how they're going to make this work. But I think in terms of being a competitor, man, he has a reason to feel as confident as he does. What did you hear?
What I heard was that people not giving him credit for what he's done. They almost making it seem like the triple-double he's averaged in 3 seasons, okay, he can't shoot, even though he averaged around about 20-plus points. Oh, he can't rebound. He averaged 10-plus rebounds. Oh, he can't pass the ball. So, but he averaged over 10 assists. It's like people are not giving him credit for those things. So he's like, hey, I did do those things. But yet instead you saying, the only way I can affect the game is by scoring. But yet he's making contributions in other categories, essential categories to being a great player in basketball for his team. So that's what I heard. And I think that's the thing too. People are not giving him credit for things he's done. They went to the point where teammates are bagging away, running away from the ball so he can get rebounds.
Right.
I think it's going to work with Harden. I do, because I think they genuinely like each other, and I think they genuinely want to play together. And I don't think Westbrook is going to come in and try to change Harden the way I think CP3 did. I thought CP3 came into Houston, seeing what Houston could be, thinking that he was going to change it to fit CP3, which he thought maybe the CP3's perception is what's going to get them over that hump. And Harden was like, "No, bro, no, But yeah, I don't think him and CP3 was close. And I think with these moves, you seeing who's buddy in this league. Kyrie is going with Durant. I think you see who are really close in this league. Because believe me, people are recruiting. What Anthony Davis said in a previous clip. You want to play with your friends, people that you're cool with. And I think you now seeing who is actually cool with each other.
Let me ask you this. And this is a 2-part question before we go on to the next clip.
Okay.
we know that Houston. Let me back up for a second. Yes or no? Is this gonna work?
Yes,
it is gonna work.
I believe so.
Okay. Now we know that Houston is a contender